how long we're going to be there.
The two linemen from Cedarburg Light and Water Utility are gearing up to help restore power in communities south of Orlando.
The truck isn't really loaded with anything extra. We have mostly the same material we're going to be using on a day-to-day.
That includes vital hardware that helps get power back online, as well as personal protective equipment. And they're not alone, as they join dozens of utility workers from around the state and across the country.
The men say they're planning to arrive in Florida tomorrow morning. The Dropbox saga of Wausau continues.
This is a hot button item. The agenda was changed late last night.
Not proper. Point of order.
Wausau Mayor Doug Dinney starting what became a contentious Common Council meeting in Wausau Tuesday night. The Wisconsin DOJ is investigating after the mayor removed Wausau's absentee ballot drop box last month. Residents offering views such as,
I stand in support of Mayor Dinney's decision to draw attention to the need to secure the drop box.
Or,
we wouldn't have this issue had you not taken the drop box.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The council did not take up a vote Tuesday on a resolution to approve funding for adding security to the drop box. The box is currently back in front of City Hall. First Lady's making stops in the Badger State. First Lady of Minnesota Gwen Walz heads to Beloit and Madison tomorrow. Walz will speak to voters about reproductive rights and the economy. First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, will stop in Madison. Mrs. Biden has a political event on Monday. Former President Donald Trump plans to hold a major rally at New York's Madison Square Garden later this month, October 27th, just 9 days before Election Day. The Garden can seat 19,500 people in the main arena. Trump expects to fill those seats, saying he'll honor police, firefighters, and teachers. Boeing and the union representing its machinists haven't come any closer to ending a strike. More from ABC's Gio Benitez.
Talks broke down between Boeing and the union, representing 33,000 factory workers. Boeing said further negotiations just don't make sense, and the company actually withdrew its proposal. Now, the union says that the company refused to bargain on wage increases, vacation, sick leave, 401ks, and worker pensions.
Removing and replacing lead piping found in Milwaukee's water system. Milwaukee's Water Works Superintendent Patrick Pauley says the deadline to remove all of the city's 65,000 lead pipes has changed with America Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, funds.
60 years was the timeline when we started back in 2017, and we were replacing about 1,000 lead services a year. This year we've expanded to, hopefully we'll get close to 2,500. Next year the goal is 3,500. We will continue to expand until we get on pace to replace all of them in that 10-year time frame.
Milwaukee secured $10 million in ARPA funds and plans to remove 3,400 lead pipes within the city's water system. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are still up. Dow up 200 points. NASDAQ up 66. S&P 500 up 20. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 10:04.
Do you have the greatest possible fire protection?
Fire sprinklers protect lives and property in your building.
Are you ensuring that your fire sprinkler system is receiving the proper care that it requires?
Just like the other systems within your building, it is essential that the fire sprinkler system be inspected, tested, and maintained.
Protect your investment and, most importantly, occupants and firefighters by incorporating a regular ITM program in your building.
For more information, visit nfsa.org.
That's nfsa.org.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved. But that's probably a mistake, because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks continue the preseason tomorrow night against the Lakers from Fiserv. Looking ahead to the weekend, Wisconsin's back on the gridiron for Week 7 of the college football season. The Badgers are 3-2. They visit Rutgers Saturday morning. Packers get to work Sunday afternoon, squaring off against the Cardinals at Lambeau Field. And the Brewers have a new home for local broadcast next season. Major League Baseball announced yesterday they will produce and distribute games for Milwaukee. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Still pretty quiet out there. No crashes to report, at least this time around. 94 eastbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo, about a 10-minute drive. 43 south, Brown Deer Road to the Marquette Interchange, about 10 minutes, 11 minutes. And 94 north from Layton to the Marquette Interchange, about a 7-minute commute this morning.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations: Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com, because today's your day.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny today, high 65 to 70. Clear tonight with lows 51 to 44 inland. Sunny, nice again tomorrow, high 70 to 75. Partly cloudy and warm on Friday with a high of 80. Then the cool down on Saturday. Partly cloudy with a high of only 64. Then a chance of rain moving in on Sunday. Breezy, cool with a high 59. 57 in Madison, 55 in Green Bay, 60 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. The Upswing business headlines today. I love this show. Fast and furious, a good look at boots on the ground reporting all the business news you need to know, and a little bit more for sure. What's on our agenda? Well, candidate visits. I don't know. I had this thought. We're the epicenter of the political world here in the state of Wisconsin, but all the candidates seem to be skipping the local diners, the local coffee houses, and I kind of wanted to know why. So Rich Kirchen and I, Rich is the senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Rich and I will talk about that a bit. A lot happening in Kenosha. Some restaurant news. There's always restaurant news in Greater Milwaukee. Brewers and Bucks TV broadcast buzz, pickleball in South Milwaukee, and much, much more coming up later in the show. But first, as we do each and every morning, a couple fun items, and we're going to go 2 Up.
Now it's time for the 2 Up on the Upswing.
2 Up, things in the business world that I'm seeing that you need to know. Like I said, we're going to have a little fun this morning. McDowell's first had get this, 2 chicken patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles on a sesame seed bun. Wait, chicken? McDowell's? What is McDowell's? Did you hear this? McDonald's did a pop-up in L.A. called the store McDowell's in downtown L.A., a one-day-only restaurant, served what it's called the chicken sandwich, which is really a Big Mac with 2 tempura battered chicken patties instead of beef. It was a creative way to launch the chicken Big Mac, which is debuting tomorrow. This restaurant had kind of its own M logo to distinguish itself from the Golden Arches, a pop-up creative way to promote all the regular items, fries, apple pies, soft serve, all that stuff you get at McDonald's. But a creative marketing vehicle to talk about this massive chicken nugget with mac sauce that's debuting tomorrow at McDonald's. The sandwich features some of the familiar toppings of a Big Mac, but as I said, 2 tempura battered chicken patties in place of the 2 all beef patties. Did a little research. The calories on this thing, 530 calories, total fat, 20 grams, total carbohydrates, 61 grams. Downtown indie stores already have it. That's priced at $4.59. If you want fries with that, a little bit of buzz in the business of fries. Lamb Weston, the largest producer of French fries in North America and a major supplier to fast food chains, is closing production in one of its plants in Washington state. The company announced last week that it would lay off nearly 400 employees, or 4% of its workforce, mainly seeing that sales have dropped 35% this year because a lot of places like McDonald's are going from that medium fry to the small fry in their value meals. Keep an eye on that for sure. You're also probably keeping an eye on your Amazon account. Some big deals. The Amazon Prime Big Deal Days are on right now. Just out of curiosity, I searched Milwaukee. Mainly Milwaukee tool items on Amazon, as you'd expect. Not a ton of deals on Milwaukee items, but I found one that's pretty creative and could be a solution to the Milwaukee flag. There is this red Milwaukee tool flag. Nothing but heavy-duty banner, 3 by 5 feet for a college dorm or maybe a man cave or a garage. The list price, $19.99, but for Prime Big Deals, that's today. They slashed 21% off the price, bringing it to $15.89. So if you want that Milwaukee tool flag for your garage or your man cave or whatever, go to Amazon and find it right now, and you're going to get a deal. That's what we're doing on the Upswing, making your garage even more festive and civic pride ready with a Milwaukee flag with Milwaukee Tool. When we come back, why aren't the candidates stopping at local coffee shops and diners? They're doing big events all around town, but they're not making the standard pop-ins like they used to. This is the Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
And that's the best thing about Capital's Furnace Beyondification.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Hey, Merle, what you got? What's this? A screenplay?
Let me see this. Captain Capital, Heat and Air Hero.
That's so awesome, Merle.
Hang on. I've been writing a screenplay like this.
For years.
It's an epic, and it's Capital Man, not Captain Capital. Yes, of course he restores your furnace to like new condition.
Says here, Captain Capital has a deep clean device.
Aha! Capital Man deep cleans your system with his laser beam hands.
What?
I'm developing a sidekick. He always does a comprehensive safety checks. You wrote yourself in as the sidekick?
As long as it gets across how Capital's Furnace Beyondification saves the day.
And how you want to do it before winter hits.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it's great.
Laura, Seth, I need a moment with Merle, please.
Schedule your Furnace Beyondification today at callcapitalcares.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.wi.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? TriCountyContracting.wi.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContracting.wi.com.
You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Walk right in, it's around.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined today by Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, from the WTMJ Talk and Text line, which is 855-616-1620. From the 262, didn't McDowell's have the golden arches for the logo from that Coming to America movie with Eddie Murphy? Yes, that was McDowell's. What McDonald's did in downtown L.A. for this chicken nugget Big Mac was call it McDonald's. So, creative marketing to debut a product. We're talking about it. try it out if you want. Chicken sandwiches are all the rage for sure. And it's interesting to see the chicken Big Mac being debuted around the country. So, Rich, obviously Wisconsin and Milwaukee are kind of the epicenter of the political world right now. We're getting a lot of candidate visits. They used to stop at local businesses for publicity, stop in, talk to people, shake some hands, kiss some babies. But we're not seeing that anymore. Is it just the world has changed, or are you hearing anything on this?
Well, thanks to you, I'm hearing things about it. But that's now that you mention it. Other than Joe Biden stopping for ice cream somewhere,
right?
But he's not running anymore, so it doesn't matter. It brought to mind back when the Business Journal was more actively covering politics. Yeah. I went to Brady Street Pharmacy, which is now closed, but they had a diner in there in addition to a pharmacy. Back in 2008, John Edwards, who was a Democratic candidate at that time, before he dropped out amid a scandal.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of part of the deal that, okay, you're running for, whether it's, in that case it was the primary for the Democratic nomination, stop by some local, you check ahead of time to make sure it's okay. But just looking, Miss Katie's Diner near the Marquette campus on the sort of near west side of Milwaukee is one of those places that has hosted candidates over the years. It looks like the last time that happened was Donald Trump stopped in 2016, but now nothing this go around.
Yeah, I think it's the strategic stops are mainly about immersing themselves in the community, but the bigger speeches now, that's the focus. And the Wall Street Journal had a story just this week about this nationwide that mainly the candidates are they're doing their events and they're not stopping at local places as much. Obviously the Penzies, get Kamala Harris stopped at Penzies, but you don't get that type of stop because the businesses are saying they just don't want to go through the logistics and the hassle first from a security standpoint. And then post-event, you kind of have to deal, no matter what side of the coin you're on, you got to deal with the social media. And, sometimes it's too much for a small business to handle all that. It will be interesting to see how it continues, obviously, but representatives for both the Harris and Trump campaigns said that their candidates continued to visit with and see strong support from small businesses, of course, and they're going to say that, but they're just not stopping at as many locations as they used to. As you said, Miss Katie's Diner had Bill Clinton and German Chancellor Kohl. That was May of 1996, and I think they still actively promote that when you go into Miss Katie's.
Yeah, I think, now I haven't been in there since last winter, but they still had the cutout, the stand-up cardboard thing with a picture. I think they had Michelle Obama and Hillary in there. I don't remember if they had Mr. Trump, but it was like a big deal because they had the spotlight, maybe nationally or internationally, in the case of Chancellor Kohl's visit.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Germany, Kenosha has big plans to break ground on 2 more manufacturing plants next year. What do you know about this, and what's the price tag, and are there public dollars involved?
Yes, so it's a company called Schutz Container, with an umlaut on it. They're from Germany. From our perspective and just about everyone else's, came out of nowhere and decided to build a plant in the city of Kenosha on 60th Street, and that plant is well underway. That one's in the $35 to $38 million range.
Okay.
They're going to employ about 90 to 95 people for starters on first shift. It's going to be complete early part of next year. They make containers, as you might imagine, from the name of the business. Plastic containers with metal cages around them for putting large quantities of liquids for whatever use, could be industrial or other. Then the new news this week is that the company was back before the Kenosha Common Council. It was a meeting Monday night for a rezoning for another property on 70th Avenue, and they're talking about 2 plants. two additional plants that they want to start construction on in spring of 2025. These will sort of complement the one that already started. They are going to have to start again on first shift about 55 employees when that opens in 2026. And the company's doing this with their own funds, so they're not seeking any subsidies from the city or the state.
Yeah, self-funding the projects, and so no subsidies involved, but obviously some job positive impact. And how many global employees for the company?
I think it's about 7,000.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I got about the location was that both of them are on rail lines, and they do get their raw materials delivered by rail.
All right. There's news of another hotel in Kenosha and another well-known business coming to Kenosha. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, joins us. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Higginson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Tune in each week as John exposes industry myths for truth seekers looking to navigate their way to financial freedom. What he reveals may surprise you. To learn more about the show and how creative planning can help you build a custom financial plan and portfolio tailored to you and your goals, visit creativeplanning.com/radio. Don't settle for outdated advice. Your money deserves better, and so do you.
Any exterior remodeling company can give you a lot of good reasons to get a new roof, siding, windows and doors, or masonry work. Aesthetic appeal alone or just resale value help it all make sense. But I'm compelled to continue to tell you what sets Semper Fi apart from the rest. What you're going to get from Semper Fi is a reputation that is backed by an undeniable stack of proof that we are who we say we are. Our character is guided by a level of trust and accountability which not only holds our teams together, but also keeps our reputation intact. And ultimately, that means leaving you satisfied. So when you're about to make that big investment in your home, isn't that what you want? This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Hey ladies, it's your night at your local running store, Wednesday, October 9th from 4 to 7. Get a prize card in-store and register online for your chance to win a Milwaukee Tool drill kit or one of 20 $50 Runnings gift cards. Grab a bucket for $4.95 and half the proceeds go to a local cancer charity. Then get 20% off all the clothing and footwear you can fit in your bucket and 10% off almost everything else. Some exclusions apply. Ladies' Night, Wednesday, October 9th from 4 to 7 at your local running store. Go to runnings.com for more information and to find a store near you.
Sometimes people change, and not always for the better. Take Senator Tammy Baldwin. What happened? She's been in D.C. for 25 years. Extreme left-wing groups have showered her with campaign cash, and now she's siding with them. Baldwin supported puberty blockers and sex change surgeries for minor children in Wisconsin. That's extreme. And Baldwin supports forcing women's domestic violence shelters in Wisconsin to admit biological men who claim to identify as women, making survivors of domestic violence sleep in the same building as men. That's just cruel. Tammy Baldwin used to share our values, but a quarter century in Washington has made her just too extreme for Wisconsin. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Welcome back to The Upswing. Commerce and community, that's what we do. We also invite you to participate in the WTMJ Fall 2024 Fan Survey. Really easy, takes less than 10 minutes to complete. We want your feedback on the station, on the shows. Always appreciate the feedback that I get via social media and email, all the outreach for sure. To participate in the survey, all you have to do is text the word survey to the WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620. You'll get the link texted back to you as a thank you for participating. You will be entered in a contest to win 2 Milwaukee Bucks tickets for the upcoming season. Preseason begins at home tomorrow night. And an overnight stay at the Pfister Hotel right here in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. So, Rich, just kind of want to finish up our Kenosha conversation. It's a hotbed of development for sure, all around Greater Kenosha, Pleasant Prairie, without a doubt, with the Microsoft development. But there's news of another possible hotel in the area.
Right. It's a 95-room hotel, which would be a Town Place Suites by Marriott, developed by Shiva Hotels in Kansas. 4 stories, 53,000 square feet on 125th. Is it Street or Avenue? I know it's one or the other.
Yeah. All right. Well, always good to see more hotel options. Between here and Chicago, we need them for sure. And I hear there's a new Quick Trip coming to that area as well.
Can't get enough Quick Trip.
That's right.
This would be in the heart of the city. This would not be like so much of the development is on the outskirts or in the suburban areas of Kenosha. I have to apologize. I'm not a Kenosha guy, so it's on 30th.
Okay.
It's on 30th. It used to be a supper club.
Okay.
It looks like it's sort of on the west side or near west side of Kenosha. And another Quick Trip, it'll be, I believe, the 8th within the city of Kenosha.
Okay.
So a redevelopment site, and I believe that's going to open in 2025.
All right. Very good. Well, quickly, doubles meant big bucks for the Brewers and specifically for the Hunger Task Force this year. Got this news a couple days ago. The Brewers and Sargento every year, they team up to support hungry families in Milwaukee. Every time the Brewers hit a double during the regular season, Sargento donated $200 to the Hunger Task Force. 249 doubles were hit this season, so that's $49,800. That was donated to the Hunger Task Force. I always love these quick kind of hitting stories. Since the inception of the doubles helping for hunger, Sargento has donated almost $298,000 to the Hunger Task Force. So speaking of the Brewers, you were at the event last night, or yesterday, right? Correctly? Seemingly not a lot of money in the regional sports networks like Bally Sports. And with the bankruptcy of Bally Sports, the Brewers, Major League Baseball kind of stepping up to take over the broadcasts.
Yeah, I had forgotten about this, but the Major League Commissioner had been in Milwaukee last year and had a press conference and said that MLB was ready to step in. The question came up, well, what about the future of Diamond Sports? They're in bankruptcy. They own Bally Sports Wisconsin. And sure enough, 3 teams this year, their broadcasts were produced by Major League Baseball. And now the Brewers are going to do the same thing for the 2025 season. A lot of questions, of course, from Brewer fans. Where can we find the games? How much is it going to cost? And so Rick Schlesinger, the business president of the Brewers, held a press conference yesterday afternoon at American Family Field. And the good news for those of us who don't like change is if you are already a subscriber of cable or satellite TV, it's essentially just going to be a different channel,
right?
And
a different name, a different channel.
And Rick said it's going to be called Brewers TV, and it's really going to exist at least initially just to carry the Brewers games, pregame show, postgame show. Same personalities, Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Jeff Levering.
Well, there could be some impact with the Bucks after this season. We'll talk about that when we come back from the break. WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. There are tornado warnings across South Florida as Hurricane Milton begins its progression toward the state's western coast. The rain starting to fall in Tampa, where the storm surge could be as high as 12 feet. Further south in Sarasota, it could be 15 feet. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell says Helene and Milton back-to-back wasn't ideal, but
we've done this before. We've done multiple events before. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but we've planned for this. We've done this, and we're going to make sure nobody has needs, and we're going to keep people there to support them.
Steady rain and winds now beginning to gust in the Tampa Bay area. President Biden has a phone call scheduled today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as Israel weighs its response to Iran's recent ballistic missile barrage, and as the Gaza Health Ministry says more than 42,000 Palestinians have now died. Voting by mail beginning in Arizona. Both vice presidential candidates will be there, both in Tucson today. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:31. 7 people, 2 adults and 5 kids, rescued from the second floor of a burning house this morning on Milwaukee's north side, 11th and Burleigh. In a post on X, Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky commended the fact the home had working smoke alarms, which he says alerted the occupants. In East Troy, a woman allegedly attacking a man with a razor blade shot and wounded by a Walworth County Sheriff's deputy after she reportedly refused to drop her weapon. She's in critical condition. Her alleged victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. A man shot and killed by Milwaukee police Friday has been identified as 33-year-old DeAndre Harvey Martin of Milwaukee. Police say he ignored commands to drop his gun, was shot, then ran into a home where he holed up for hours. He was found dead inside. Police were initially called to reports of a shooting and found 3 victims and Martin on the porch with a gun. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow now up 274 points at 42,354. The Nasdaq up 76 at 18,259. The S&P 500 is up 27 at 5,778. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with the fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. We have a new crash. It is off-right. I-41, 894 East at 60th Street. So beware if you're in that area. Also a little bit of slowing in the construction zone. I-43 southbound, Brown Deer Road to downtown. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine today, high 65 to 70. It'll be clear overnight with lows 51 lakeside, 44 inland. Sunny and mild tomorrow, high 70 to 75. Quite a bit warmer on Friday. Partly cloudy with a high of 80, then the cool down Saturday. Partly cloudy skies, high 64. Chance of rain on Sunday, scattered showers at least. Breezy cool with a high of only 59. It's 57 in Madison, 55 in Green Bay, 63 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Hey, John Mercure here from my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating. They know our climate is all over the place. This means your home comfort system gets quite the workout. Constant adjustments need to be made to adapt to our volatile weather. Wisconsin prepares you to be ready for anything because anything happens. Fear not, because for over 42 years, my friends at Dave Drake Camp Heating have lived here too, right by your side, ready and prepared for when anything happens. Spring, summer, fall, winter, even when they all seem to happen within the same week. Whether you're experiencing your next home comfort dilemma now or will be soon, call Dave Drake Camp Heating for free estimates on new equipment, routine maintenance, or just to ensure your system is ready for anything. Or maybe because you have a simple question about your home comfort, call Dave Drake Camp today. 262-367-2820. That's 262-367-2820. Dave Drake Camp Heating, your comfort is their family's tradition. DaveDrakeCamp.com.
The kick is up and wide left.
Why don't they customize the goalposts? Make them wider.
Gina Della from Pella? How'd you get into the booth?
And why just yellow? Add some green stripes.
Sure, Gina. Should they also remove the G at midfield and paint a Pella crest?
Okay, Wayne, you can't customize a football game to go the way you want, but Pella can customize your home the way you want.
Right now, get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 10/31/2024.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Is that coffee?
That's it. I'm getting 100 cups of coffee, starting now.
Time for a quick look at your coffee and how much it costs. It's the Upswing's Coffee Index.
Smells good.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, always giving you coffee costs throughout the area, trying to stop at different places, give you our insights, and even a little bit of analysis. I had early meeting in Whitefish Bay, so I drove down Silver Spring. I went to the Starbucks there. I kind of am liking this Milano Luna blend that they have. It's really, really good, really smooth. They got the 12-ounce the tall at Starbucks, $2.65. Add that 17-cent tax. So it's $2.82 for my morning coffee. Jaslyn, where'd you go? You're bringing the creativity.
Well, I'm trying to find as many places before. I don't want to repeat places just yet.
Yes.
But I went to Interval in Bayview, which is like right where Kinnickinnick and Howell intersect, which is interesting because that's like right across the street from Collectivo. Yeah. And for a while, I thought it wasn't open until later, but no, it opened at 7. So just grabbed a coffee and it was pretty good.
All right.
I actually asked for cream and sugar this time.
All right. How much? What did it set you back?
$4, but it was good, so I can take it. And I always got to leave a $1 tip, so it wasn't too bad. As long as I pay 5 or under, I'm fine.
All right. Very good. Always a lot of great development happening in Milwaukee's Bayview
Aren't you going
neighborhood
to ask
for
me
sure.
about my coffee experience,
Rich,
Chef?
you're next up. What'd you do?
I didn't spend a penny on my coffee. See, I
right.
was thrifty today and too busy to stop at the coffee shop. So I took advantage of the Keurig machine in our office. And got some Dunkin' original flavor.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're covering all the bases for sure. All right. I wanted to go back to our Brewers Bally Sports conversation a little bit there. In terms of Bally's with the Bucks, what after this next season, what are some of the possible scenarios on the NBA side for our local team?
Yes, so the at the moment the Bucks are on Bally Sports in spite of the Brewers not being on there anymore in the future. The Bucks are slated to be on Bally Sports throughout the 24-25 season. So the question is, what happens after that? There was a story in Sports Business Journal, which is part of our company, saying that the speculation was that once the Brewers left Bally Sports Wisconsin, that was the end of the network because they really need to have the two teams. It's pretty much year-round then because of the way their seasons overlap. But losing the Brewers is most likely going to mean the end of Bally Sports Wisconsin. So Peter Fagan of the Bucks has talked about this in the past, the team president. I mean, he sort of liked it, and they tried it last season with some broadcast games. On Channel 58 and one of their sister stations right here in Milwaukee. So you can never rule that out. Right. But the Major League Baseball seems to be further along in terms of its own production of TV, of television, and taking it over. The NBA seems to be looking to work with partners, Amazon, someone else who might be able to produce it. So I don't think the Bucks will be on their own as sort of a free agent on this. It seems like it's an NBA problem, and they'll get involved, certainly.
And it's not, seeing from the Brewers' lens, what we heard yesterday, it seems like there's an excitement about almost taking it in-house and having a more control over what they can do during the broadcasts.
Yeah, in talking with some of the Brewers folks yesterday, the good news is they have more control on what's in the broadcast, how it's presented. Again, they're going to keep the same talent, on-air talent. That being said, now Tyler Barnes from the Brewers told me that. Their arrangement with Bally Sports, all they had to do was, they signed the contract and Bally Sports took care of the whole thing. Right. So the Brewers get more control. They also have to set up an operation now in-house. So, I think the Bucks would be up for that kind of thing as well, assuming that's what happens.
Yeah. I mean, reality is sports organizations are media companies, and they have people in-house that have the skills to execute these type of programs. But as you mentioned, yes, it is definitely additional work for the teams, but it's also more control and more creativity. So it'll be interesting to see how kind of both the teams take this as an opportunity to move forward. And just to kind of put a bow on it, the Brewers broadcast will be available then via the MLB app. That's the paid portion.
Right, for streaming. And that was for the teams that were with MLB this year, it was $99.
Yeah.
And Rick Schlesinger from the Brewers said, that's sort of a starting point, somewhere in that neighborhood for the Brewers streaming next season.
All right, very good. When we come back, a well-known restaurant, possibly? Coming to the Third Ward? Let's speculate a little bit. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
In this real estate market, you need an aggressive real estate agent. Milwaukee Realty pays for client home inspections and well inspections for their buyers and sellers. That's aggressive. Ask your favorite agent if they will, and then call Milwaukee Realty.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead, like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money too. That's ACCUNET.com.
We did the math. When you buy bagged mulch from the big guys, you pay $50 a yard. Why pay more for inferior mulch? When you buy from Erickson's, you'll get premium mulch for almost half the cost. And you'll see that even our economy mulch is better, for less than half the cost of bag mulch. And either choice is made with premium colorant that lasts longer. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Do you want the economy mulch or the premium? The only real difference is that the premium mulch has thicker strands, while the economy mulch is finer. But the colorant we use for both is of the highest quality, and that's why the color of our mulch lasts longer. And our mulch comes from trees, not pallets, and we process it all in-house. That's why our prices are so low. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Business headlines today with senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, Rich Kirchen. Rich, always appreciate you taking the time. So a headline that kind of stuck out to me as I was scrolling, a well-known restaurant coming to the Third Ward. Local restaurant concept is slated to fill that ground floor restaurant in the new 333 Water apartment building, and beautiful building. That's right, kind of as you go over St. Paul, right before the Milwaukee Public Market. The developer says that, quote, a well-known local restaurant they are in negotiations with. Any speculation or a time frame on this?
I can tell you who it's not going to be. McDowell's. Other than that, yeah, it is pure speculation.
Yes.
I mean, we can guess. Well known. There's a short list in terms of some of the restaurant groups in town.
Yeah.
There certainly are some, standalone restaurants in the downtown area that could have an interest. The timing is they're saying they expect a lease to be finalized in about 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we should know before the end of the year.
Yeah. And residents began moving into this complex in June. The developer said that the apartments are about 18% leased and it's 60 leases signed. So, kind of creating additional density in the third ward. I mean, I agree. I think there are a handful of larger restaurant groups that could and would want marquee space on the Riverwalk. And then there's maybe some existing high-end restaurants that may need to move for whatever reason or want a second location, even though they have one location downtown. I would expect something like that, but you never know. Like, I think for a concept like this, such a marquee location, probably a little higher on the lease side, it might even be a national concept.
Right. Well, you've got Carson's at the Modern in the Arena District. The model for this could be Loopy and Iris, which is at the 777 high-rise luxury apartments. The Hines project in the third ward is also high-rise luxury apartments. Now, there's only one Loopy and Iris.
Yeah.
So, would it be another standalone restaurateur that wants to move there? Parking becomes a question right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would have to make arrangements for that in the building because street parking would be very difficult to come by. And the perception, too, that, it's a great building. It's on the river.
Right.
Where do you park? This is Milwaukee. We're not going to walk anywhere.
Well, you're going to park on the east side of the river, and you're going to walk. Park in one of the garages. There's a lot of street parking in the third ward, and I think that's what the city wants too. Is they want that park once concept to have people walk around downtown, especially to get to marquee destinations like this restaurant will probably be. So it kind of fits into the connections and the connectivity of what the mayor and Department of Public Works want in downtown development. Well, when we talk downtown development, the Port of Milwaukee isn't downtown, but is a marquee portion of what we want to do economic development-wise in Milwaukee. When we come back, city budget and what it means for the expansion of the Port of Milwaukee. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
When you did the impressions of Coach Alvarez, which I love doing on the radio with the state now.
See the world from his perspective.
When Barry would get really mad or very frustrated, his voice goes up 15 octaves.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
God dang it, come on, we got guys over at the towers not paying attention.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and Kohler Services.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank has been doing banking differently since 1896. Financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks. Horicon Bank takes the time to understand you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Together, doing good, that's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Milwaukee College Prep, dedicated to closing the opportunity gap for children in Milwaukee, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dreams. Join me, Good Karma Brand's founder CEO Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 17th, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee's most challenged communities. Milwaukee College Prep is closing the opportunity gap. To learn more and purchase tickets, go to MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com and click support.
So what do you think of WTMJ?
You can't handle the truth.
No, we absolutely do want your honest feedback.
Hit me with it. Just give it to me straight.
You listen to WTMJ, you should have a say. It only takes 10 minutes to complete the Fall 2024 Fan Survey. As a thank you for your valuable feedback, you'll be entered to win a package including 2 Bucks tickets and an overnight stay at the Pfister. Simply text the word survey to the WTMJ talk and text line, 855-616-1620.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, hey, Cripple Creek Ferry, budding through the overhanging trees. Make way for the Cripple Creek Ferry, the water's going down, it's a mighty tide.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, joins us. Fast and furious business headlines. A lot happening at the Port of Milwaukee, of course, all summer long. Cruise ships from across the world coming to dock at Milwaukee. But now we need to complete and expand the Port of Milwaukee. What does the city have in its budget?
Some of the cruise ships park or dock near the Discovery World, but others do go to Jones Island, which the port director describes as stinky and dirty. So it has a foul odor. So the idea is to create a more welcoming and aesthetically pleasing dock, and this would be right near where the Lake Express ferry is.
Okay.
And Mayor Johnson has included $17 million for this new dock in his budget. Of course, that still has to go through the Common Council, but the idea would be to have this dock open by 2026's cruise season.
Okay, all right, and will there be additional dollars then needed to complete this project? I'm guessing there's probably some state funding that's needed.
Well, the port did receive $3.5 million grant from the Wisconsin Department of Tourism for developing this new dock. I'm sure they might look for money in other places as well.
All right. Well, let's move from sea to land, if you will, to pickleball. Continues to be a hot topic for sure, not only in the business development world, but just in the recreation world. Everyone seems to be playing pickleball. A lot of, competition, if you will, for the national franchises to come into the market. But the first big indoor pickleball facility coming to South Milwaukee. All right. What do you know about this?
Well, this would be at 305 North Chicago Avenue, which for me, not being from South Milwaukee, is confusing. That you have a street with North on it. But anyway, $2.5 million project, Premier Pickleball Center. And this had been an indoor soccer facility most recently. They've told the city of South Milwaukee that they want to open this year yet. And they're also looking to include a third-party operator for a restaurant and supper club.
Yeah.
So it'll be more than pickleball.
All right. Yeah, no, I heard that the building owner is also the business owner, and he's hired a designer who's going to manage the club. The supper club is planned and kind of looking at a supper club concept to be adjacent to the pickleball. facility. So, I mean, I heard that. So it's an old lounge space that will be retrofitted into a supper club. So we'll have the national premier pickleball center, but then an old school supper club attached to it, which is an interesting model. And I think as you look at kind of the expansion of these facilities across the area, they're all going to be competing with other fitness centers, the elites, YMCAs, and otherwise. So, I mean, how do you see that model shaking out?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the challenge because I suppose the pie is growing some here. There are pickleball players who are not members of existing athletic clubs and facilities. That being said, it's sort of that same pot of money, that people have discretionary money that they want to spend on whatever workout facilities. So, it's not like they're just all the pickleball. Yes, the new pickleball centers are competing with each other, but they like you said, they're competing with the Y, with the Wisconsin Athletic Club, and on and on.
Yeah, and as more people start playing the sport and get used to it during the summer months, obviously it's really easy to go to your local rec center or your tennis court that's already been retrofitted.
Yes.
But you're going to want a warm weather destination, and I think that's where the opportunity could be for these centers. All right, Rich, appreciate your time and insights this morning. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News.
When an injury or illness occurs, deciding where to go for same-day medical care can be stressful. It can be confusing. To help us understand the many different same-day care options is Dr. Anshu Agarwal. Dr. Agarwal is a primary care physician who practices at the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin McKinley Health Center. Dr. Agarwal, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Often a hospital emergency